Hey, welcome to another poolside chat. Today I'm putting off questions and I've got I want to say a PSA, that's what I keep thinking in my head, a public service announcement. But this is for veterans and who served in Afghanistan, veterans who fought, um, government war, just anyone who is really kind of struck and depressed through firsthand experience of what's happened in Afghanistan, not to mention the general public. Um, but for those who helped, veterans in particular right now, um, no basis in Bible. This is not a Bible story at the moment. But first message is, if you doubt you made a difference, if you wondered why people fought and died in Afghanistan, and if it was pointless, I have heard that. Listen carefully. You made a difference, a big positive difference in our lives, for America, for me. I mean, look right now. Look where I'm at. You're with me on a poolside chat. I'm out back in my pool enjoying it in the Florida sunshine. You protected me so I can do this. You protected all of us so we can go out and have cookouts and freedom that we enjoy. This is what you did, so thank you for that. All of you fought and died. This is you. And everyone in the public conversation keeps saying that you did great. It's just the truth of it. And if there are any voices, including your own, that tell you different, look at the truth, look at me, and look at where I'm at. You made a difference. I'm proud of you, and I want to thank you for all you have given so that we can be here. Second thing that I want to talk about is for those who are worried and nervous and upset. For those still who are stuck in Afghanistan, in particular, but anywhere right now. You know, in the crime-ridden areas where you're scared to go outside your door or walk down the street. In Haiti, where you had the earthquake and now you've had the floods, where it just seems so incredibly devastating that you almost lose hope. There's something I want to read to you, and I'm going to stop for a second as I read this. The 23rd Psalm will probably be read a lot. We're familiar with it, and I think there's a reason. Well, sometimes familiarity can breed contempt, as the saying goes. I'm not sure it breeds contempt in this case, but I think familiarity maybe doesn't let us appreciate what was said. Psalm 23, Psalm 22 and 23 are taken together, and what the Bible scholars, Bible historians say or believe is that this psalm was written when David was king, probably toward the end of David's kingship. And the reason they say this is because the tone is kind of nostalgic. A look back, if you will. It really doesn't matter. I tend to believe this. But what does matter is David and that he wrote this. Because remember, David was a soldier. David was a man of God. God called David a man after my own heart. He lived life to the fullest. He fought. He had people fight against him. Man, he was isolated. He was chased. He was betrayed. He was cornered. At one point, he had to pretend he was insane to escape. He fought. And actually, God did not let him build a temple, the temple of God, the temple in Jerusalem, because God said there was too much blood on his hands. He was a soldier, and he did what God asked him to do. But it was war, and it was a messy, messy, bloody business. And I say that because when you read the 23rd Psalm, remember that David, this is who he was. It wasn't nice and clean. There was, like sometimes people get wowed by medals that the army wears, that military wear. And I don't think what people realize is sometimes what goes behind that ribbon that the soldiers wear. There's a lot, and this is David. And this is when he wrote the 23rd Psalm, is after these experiences. So let me read this. Think of that, keep that in mind. And it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He takes me to lush pastures, he leads me to refreshing water. He restores my strength. He leads me down the right paths for the sake of his reputation. Even when I must walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff reassure me. You prepare a feast before me in the plain sight of my enemies. You refresh my head with oil. My cup is completely full. Surely your goodness and faithfulness will pursue me all my days, and I will live in the Lord's house for the rest of my life." He wrote this with a nostalgic tone, looking back at these experiences that he had had leading up to him becoming king over Israel. There is a line here, and this is what I wanted to focus on, that I think is appropriate for those who have fought and who are continuing to fight and escape and evade and get to safety in Afghanistan and elsewhere. It says, "Your rod and your staff reassure me." Traditionally it says, "Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." What does that mean? So let me read the note, and this is from the Net Bible, but this is a great summary of that phrase, "Your rod and your staff reassure me." The Pael of Nakam, the word, when used with a human object, it means, and that's your rod and your staff, they comfort me. When used with a human object, rod and staff, it means comfort and console. So he's saying he's got a staff, a rod. You think of a walking stick, what it is, it's a shepherd's stick. It means comfort and console, but here, within the metaphorical framework, it refers to the way in which a shepherd uses his implements to assure the sheep of his presence and calm their nerves. So when the sheep get scared, when they feel threatened, they group, and what the shepherd does is he gets his staff out, and they see it, and they're reassured. It calms them. The underlying reality is the emotional stability God provides the psalmist during life's threatening situations. So David, was looking back over his life when he was pursued, betrayed, cornered, had to fight. And this is the image he wrote about the underlying reality of the emotional stability God provided him during those threatening situations. That's God. That's what David knew. And that's what I want to leave you with. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. They reassure me because I know you're there. That's the 23rd Psalm. That's God. So remember, all of you have done, all of us here in the U.S. and everywhere, including Afghanistan and the Afghanis. You've done us proud. You've done us great. And for those there now, and all of us, remember that. God's rod and staff, they reassure us. They show us the reality of the emotional stability God provides us during threatening situations. Your rod and your staff reassure me. Isn't that a neat thought? So this is my reflection for today. You know, I too am a little upset. I'm a lot upset at all this stuff going on. But it was just a verse that spoke to me, and I want to share it with you. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. I've said before, I've written it, I'll write it again. Look, if you're struggling, reach out. Reach out to me. My number's on the website. Call me, text me. I'm terrible at getting back, but when you need me, I'm there. Crisis hotline, just reach out. You're not alone. All right? Remember, I'll be back Saturday. We're going to go back into the reality of Ecclesiastes. Interesting why God let me start this now, because with all this going on, there's some really great lessons. Remember, share us out. Let your friends know. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at FL Compass Church. Online, www.flcompasschurch.org. Send me your thoughts, send me your questions, and above all, be safe and reach out. You're not alone, guys. I love all y'all. Be blessed, and we'll see you Saturday.